What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the comic experience, and if you just clicked on this video, you are now listening to the Fulcrum Report. Fulcrum Report, episode 26. What's going on, everybody? Before we get going, if you wouldn't mind dropping a like on the video, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell notification so you know when our comic dubs come up and our podcast comes up, and then also don't forget to comment below. We love talking with you guys, and we had our live episode last week. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, definitely make sure to chat down there because we pay attention. But without further ado, Fulcrum Report 26. I am your host, Sebastian. You can follow me on Instagram and the Twitter at Revan Winter Soldier. But I shall shoot it off first to the Gilbs. What's going on, Gilbert?
What's up, guys? My name is Gilbert. You can follow me on Twitter as well. I'm so happy to be here.
Let's get on to the UK. We have Mr. Machinima Man, Marshall. What's going on, Marshall?
Hello, thank you for having me back for episode 26. The Fulcrum Report is nearly as old as Gilbert.
We made it, man. I can't believe we... Right on, right on. And we have a new guest this week. We're trying to do a new thing where we'll have a new guest from the comic experience each week, one of our voice actors. We have Mr. Jonah. What's going on, Jonah? Why don't you go ahead and tell us who you are and what you've done work on here?
Hey, yeah, so I'm Jonah Jackson. I've done work on some of the Avengers stuff, like the Infinity War Prelude, and working on Jango Fett right now, and Darth Maul, doing all kinds of fun stuff. So love working with you guys over the comic experience.
Right on. Thank you, sir. Yeah, no, I had a recommendation to use you from, I think it was Gilbert, actually, that recommended you, or Daniel. And after that, I totally fell in love with your voice, and I plan to use you throughout the entire series. So thank you, sir.
Well, thank you.
Cool. Don't get jealous over there, Marshall. He's just playing.
No, it's okay. Replace me with a younger cast, Sebastian.
But let's get on to our for those who aren't familiar with the Fulcrum Report at home, we have a quiz question each week. I'll ask you guys a question, and then at the end of the episode, we will review it and see who wins this week's quiz question. So for Fulcrum Report episode 26, the quiz question is Star Wars. They took Luke Skywalker's lightsaber and gave it to Rey. It is now officially Rey's lightsaber. I heard. Now this is old news. I mean, this is from a couple years ago actually, but it's kind of resurfacing. I don't know why people are getting upset about something. So for the quiz question this week, I want you to take any character from any movie or video game. I want you to take their iconic weapon and basically do what Disney did, hand it down to somebody. And
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, don't give the answers right now. Write them down. But yeah, and preferably at a weapon. Do this in a disgraceful manner. If you know what I'm saying.
So, all right, so give it to someone who doesn't deserve the weapon,
exactly,
basically.
like Ray. No, I mean, or rename it. Ooh. So I'm trying to think of somebody's iconic weapon. You got like Excalibur. You know, handing that down to some.
So like,
and just calling
it
like
giving. Well, I don't know. You know, I'm gonna save it. I'll save it.
Yeah. So kind of get your mind in, get in that mindset, and then we'll get back to that at the end of the episode. But let's get on to our first topic, Avengers leaks. There was something actually on 4chan that I tried sharing with everybody, and apparently it got ripped down. But with my photographic memory, I memorized some of the details, and there was some really juicy stuff in there, and it got ripped down, so we're thinking that it might possibly be real. So none of you guys got a chance to see that, right?
I didn't know.
No, I did not.
So I'll quickly describe what was in the 4chan leak. Apparently this, and you know, take it with a pinch of salt because, you know, 4chan, that's where all the trouble starts on the internet. But this one seemed to kind of have some interesting points, some stuff I haven't heard of, and also he claimed to have seen like a test screening, which is totally legitimate. I had a friend that saw one of our viewers. He saw Into the Spider-Verse months before it actually came out, and he told me about it. And when I saw the thing, it was legitimate. So this guy saw Avengers. He dished on some of the details. So let me get down to some of those real quick. I'll give you a brief summary, and then we'll go around the room, and then you can tell me what you think. But So one of the leaks was saying that, Thanos is not just the only villain in this movie. It is not a nihilist. It is actually King the Conqueror. We'll get more into that in a second. They were saying that basically, like, there's going to be a bit of time traveling. That's what the suits are for. So we're on the money with that. There was also a YouTube video that you guys watched that one, right? The it's like the quantum suit leak. Yeah. So basically, that was saying that, you know, the quantum suits, those white suits that all the Avengers are wearing, that's how they're going to travel through the quantum zone, or the quantum verse. But then here's the juiciest piece of info. So apparently, King the Conqueror is Tony Stark from a different dimension, another timeline where that Tony Stark did lose everything. And I guess while floating in space, he meets some Eternals that give him the, you know, technology to be immortal, apparently, and he becomes this alternate universe version, and he sees all the destruction that Thanos caused, you know, and he decides to just wipe out everything and, you know, just cause peace, you know. So he's going after all the heroes, all the villains. He wants all of it gone. Yeah, so we got that. And then there's also some neat little details, like Thanos, I guess halfway through the movie, he realizes that he messed up and that he has to join forces with the Avengers to stop this new threat. There's going to be some time jumping. Yeah. And then what was the other big one? Oh, there's going to be, like, some revival of characters, which we all assumed, but, like, apparently some of them that didn't die in the snapping are coming back also. So, for example, like, in the leak, it said by the end of the movie, you have Yondu and Sylvester Stallone's character running the Guardians now.
Interesting.
And then you also have, what was the other thing they said? Oh, Ultron running the Dark Avengers by the end of the movie. I guess they set that up. So,
Oh, God.
Yeah, it sounds weird. I won't give any, like, major spoilers away, but that was kind of some of the big stuff that we haven't heard about. I'm gonna start it off with Gilbert. Do you think you know, 4chan, you know what I'm talking about, but do you think any of this could be legitimate? Does it sound plausible?
Well, the fact that it got taken down, like we were talking about, it makes it seem that much more plausible. But I don't know. I mean, bringing back Ultron, that kind of stuff, I don't know. That seems like a really bad idea, especially since in the MCU, like, Ultron was one of the lesser liked characters, at least this version of him, you know what I mean?
Do you think Marvel could bring him back like they are with Ronan, possibly, and give him another chance? Because I feel like that was a wasted opportunity. You know, you got James Spader with the voice. He was kind of cool.
Possibly. But, like, I mean, I liked the Ultron, but I mean, across the internet, people were just like, "What the heck? That's not Ultron. Where's Hank Pym? Why did Tony Stark?" I'm like, yeah, that whole thing was just annoying.
Right.
And I don't know, man. It seems like it could be legit, but I'm just not sure.
Yeah.
I would like to see it, but I just don't know how they would do it. And if they did it, then, I mean, it would have to be like a kind of a better thing than just, oh, well, you know, we just, it turns out that they missed one of the Ultron robots, and he's just been chilling out the last few years, just waiting, just biding his time.
Do you think it's that, or possibly with this timey-wimey stuff that we keep hearing about, and especially like if Yondu's coming back and stuff, do you think that might be like a result of it?
It's possible, but I mean, honestly, the only thing we've heard about Yondu or like Ronan is when they're in Captain Marvel. So I feel like I don't think we're going to be seeing a whole lot of them in Avengers. We're probably just going to be seeing them, in Captain Marvel, because that takes place in the 80s or the 90s, whatever. Yeah, 90s.
Yeah.
So I'm not thinking we're probably gonna be seeing them. Like, we're probably gonna be like, the only thing I think we're gonna be seeing time travel to is probably the Battle of New York.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah, I hear that one consistently. We have the set leaks of course, so like that's a gimme. But that seems to be the only one, and all the rumors also keep saying that they want to travel to that point in time particularly because that's the only time where there were 3 stones at once in one spot. There was you got the Tesseract, you have the Mind Stone and Loki's staff, and then where's the other guy? Oh, and then the Time Stone apparently is still in the Sanctum. So that would match up with the Tilda Sweeney. Am I saying her name right? The ancient one. There you go. There's rumors of her showing back up, so that would match up also. So Marshall. Thank you, Gilbert, for your input, sir. Yep, cool. Marshall, let's move on to you. What do you think about King the Conqueror being Tony Stark? Do you think that's a plausible thing? And also, I think it would be kind of neat also to come full circle, especially if this is Tony Stark's last movie, to see him as the hero of, you know, being the first MCU movie, and then 20 some odd movies down the line have him also the villain. You know, I don't know. I think it's kind of neat and a cool way to like round off everything. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it could work really well, like having him as the bad guy. I think that'd completely blow people's minds in the cinema. Yeah, I'd like to see that happen.
I'm totally down with that too, because I've been racking my mind trying to think of like, man, what's something that I haven't thought of? You know, what's something all the fans haven't thought of that we will be surprised with? And I didn't think of not only King the Conqueror, but it being Tony Stark. You know what I mean? I think that's a totally dope idea. So yeah, it got ripped down. Do you think this is legitimate then?
I'd say it either got pulled down because it's legitimate or pulled down because it's all complete lies. But I hope it's legit.
Yeah, I don't know how 4chan works. Are they pretty strict on there, or are they?
No, 4chan's basically the dumpster of the internet, I think.
Right. So which makes me question. I can't imagine like a 4chan curator like ripping down false information, unless it was like Disney stepping in, right?
Yeah, because I'm sure there would have been some posts about it as well, like, oh, why was this removed? This was removed from Disney or whatever, so it must be legit. I think if they did remove it, it would look even more suspicious. So I don't think it was them that removed it.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
Because then they'd be like, oh, they're onto us, you know?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything on the internet or on YouTube, and I don't know if that's just because the internet doesn't look at 4chan so much, because it's not, you know, it's not a credible site. But this guy, you know, he said he saw early screening, and that would be so sad if he's just sitting there yanking all of our chains. But if it's legitimate, that sounds pretty cool. Any other thoughts on the leak? Anything on your like your Avenger wish? You know, we're getting pretty close. So we're kind of ready. Eventually, we're kind of. I think I want to stop talking about it eventually once we get closer to the movie, just so we could enjoy some of the, you know, some of the surprises and shocks to come. But is there anything on your Avenger wish list that you're hoping they check off?
Ooh, everyone in one big shot again. Like, if they go back and bring characters back from the past, I want everybody together. Just put them all in one big scene, one final standoff against Thanos. That's what I want.
I'm totally with you on that one, too. I also want to see, like, multiple Captain Americas and, like, a couple different Iron Mans in there, you know, like, from different timelines, maybe get the whole, like,
that'd be
Secret
pretty
Wars
cool.
thing going. Yeah.
I'd like to see Yondu use his little arrow whistle to just knock the Infinity Stones off Thanos' gauntlet. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That's why they killed him off. He was just too powerful.
Yeah, he was gonna be in Infinity War, and then he just kept being the MacGuffin the Mary Sue that just could solve it all. They're like, all right, we gotta write this guy out. Okay, cool. And then thank you, sir. Jonah, what are your thoughts on this leak? And we haven't got to talk to you too much. Are you a Marvel fan? Are you stoked for the Avengers?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So,
I'm super stoked. I'm curious about where they're at as far as bringing characters back. Like I hope that with characters like Yondu and other ones who didn't die in the snapping, unless they've got a really good story justification for bringing them back, I kind of don't want them to, even if I love those characters, just because like their sacrifice means something in the greater story, like with Thanos, you know, sacrificing Gamora and things like that. It feels cheapened a little bit if they get brought back, or if like Loki faked it again or whatever. So I'm curious to see how all that's going to play out, and what story reasons they have for, you know, changing certain things in the timeline, and what it's going to shake out to be in the end.
yeah, because I was thinking like it would make sense for at least the snap victims to come back. You know, that's the whole point of this movie, to reverse that. Yeah, Spider-Man.
We assume, yeah.
Yeah, you need Black Panther to come back. I mean, I can't imagine Doctor Strange not, you know, all these guys just being gone forever. So that's easy to imagine, but I'm trying to wrap my head around like characters that didn't die didn't die from Thanos coming back. Like, I don't know why that would need to happen unless they really go back and kind of really change everything from the beginning. Which would
Yeah,
also
I
be
feel
kind of
like if
neat
they-
too, with like a new status quo. Like how Marvel has the Marvel Now and the or the DC, they did their new 52. It would be interesting to also have like a new status quo, see maybe a couple different characters in different costs, or different, with different, you got Ronin, you could have a new Captain America, with Winter Soldier, the Falcon, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, because we assume that after this movie, like either Bucky or Falcon is going to be like the new Captain America and things like that. The status quo will definitely be different. And if they do bring back characters that died or left or whatever for various things before this happening, yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see how that affects the status quo and the timeline as a whole. If we're getting into the time travel stuff, because it's a very slippery slope.
Yeah, it could be a really cool thing, because it could just be like the comics, and we could just get weird mashups of teams, and I'm totally down to see Yondu and the different and stuff. I'm trying to remember his character's name. It's kind of forgettable, but it's like Star. You guys remember
Which character?
Sylvester Stallone's character in Guardians. What's his
Oh,
name?
I think it's just Sylvester Stallone.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Rocky
MCU
something.
Sylvester Stallone.
Space Stallone.
Space Balboa.
Space Rocky.
So I'm trying. So
He's Punch Boy in space.
like, I'm totally down for seeing, like weird Marvel Comics is doing like the new Guardians lineup right now, and those are always interesting to see, like new lineups and stuff. So like, I would be down for that, but I'm also like, I'm with you too. I don't want them to take away the stakes of everything has been done before, or what's the whole point? What's the point of the sacrifice if you could just wipe it off and and you're just back there?
Yeah.
So
Exactly. Yeah.
we'll see what they do. Like I said, I'll pay attention a bit more to the leaks, but it's getting, the movie's out in like 3 months basically, so I'm gonna, or 2 months almost, so I'm gonna kind of cool it down and try not to look too more at the leaks. But if anything big pops up that we didn't know about, I'll make sure to. But from here on out, I think on the Fulcrum Report, we're just going to pay attention to new costumes and new designs. And that way you don't ruin
aesthetics.
Yeah. Why does Captain America have no A on his helmet anymore? Do you think that's because he's no? Yeah. Cool.
You suck, Marvel. You suck.
So let's move on from Avengers right now. Okay, we're gonna move on to we're gonna talk about this real quick, and we'll start with Jonah actually. But what are your thoughts on Ghostbusters 3? So I guess the female thing didn't work out. Hollywood is doing this thing where they're like, all right, I guess we'll go backwards and do what we should have did, and we're getting a Ghostbusters 3. But apparently, it's kids. It's going to be like Ghostbuster kids that are like being mentored by what remaining Ghostbusters there are.
Yeah. So like, it's weird because they're like, it's not a
I'll
reboot,
fix it.
but you're casting all new main characters. So like, I think it's a reboot, and you're just trying to lie to me. But so I don't know. Yeah, the whole reboot with the ladies, it's the choice that you made. But then it's weird that you say, oh well, we're ditching that and going back to the originals. But yeah, it doesn't seem like.
Yeah, what does that say about your cast and your confidence? Too about the women you just picked,
right?
Like
I get wanting to do something different, but also like. You could have just made a cool ghost movie with a bunch of ladies that wasn't like, oh, it's Ghostbusters. A lot of that stuff just kind of feels like a money grab to me, and I'm curious what we're going to do with the new one. Like, is Bill Murray going to be there? If he's there, like, I'll probably
if they
at least
can contact him.
Right. Yeah, if they can find Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. It's very early on in the process, obviously, since all we've got is like the car in the barn sort of teaser thing. All right, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm curious. And then for them not only to bring back Ghostbusters 3, but then hear that it's going to be some like, it's not going to be Ghostbusters 3?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you're trying to tell me it's not a reboot, but it's very clearly a reboot. And that's why I'm a bit verklempt.
So with like the old guys stuck in the background, and I'm like, you could have just did that with the last guy. And then they went out of their way to make sure that these were new characters too. Like, I don't know if you remember that. I didn't watch the movie, but I remember none of the characters are like, it's not female versions of the original characters. It's like all new characters. So like, I don't know what they were. I don't know.
That's the thing. I think that we could just sum it up with like,
weird and I think we could sum it up with: are we excited? Ghostbusters 3, yay!
Woo?
Gilbert, give me your thoughts.
Nay.
Thank you so much for your input, sir.
Absolutely.
Gilbert, give me your thoughts on Ghostbusters 3. Yeah, are we even excited about this? And wait, Marshall, are you excited about this?
No, not really. Just leave Ghostbusters alone, please. It's had enough.
Was there at one point where you would have been excited for Ghostbusters 3 and then but they just they crapped on it so hard?
Yeah. If the last one didn't happen, then probably.
Yeah, because then we'd have the whole like Star Wars nostalgia thing. Oh my God, it's Ghostbusters after 40 years. It was really odd with the female trailer too. It was like 20 or 30 years ago you had the Ghostbusters and you know they were there and they're busting ghosts, and now we have these.
Yeah.
But it was like separate. So,
This
like,
is
I don't know.
non-canonical.
If they'd have made the characters like the daughters of the original characters, I think that could have worked out really well. And like the original Ghostbusters teaching the new ones how to fight ghosts and stuff, that would have been a better idea. But
Yeah.
And then
What
the
are we gonna
Ghostbuster
do?
cameos, like, weren't they not even like playing the Ghostbusters?
yeah, exactly. It was like, what's the point? It just made me mad.
Agreed.
That's like having,
Very much
like,
agreed.
I don't know, this would be totally sacrilegious, but like, that's like having, I don't know, rebooting Star Wars and then having like,
Yeah,
having like
and
a
then
Luke Skywalker
Mark-
character, and then having Mark Hamill show up, but he's not Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's just in the Cantina band, and no one acknowledges that it's Luke Skywalker. It's just like, oh, look, he's in the Cantina band.
Oh, how
He's
fun
there.
and
He's
quirky.
totally there. Right?
Yeah. It's just like,
Want to buy some death sticks?
Right?
you don't want to sell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
Right on. Yeah, it's just kind of weird. I heard they're also doing it with well, they're definitely like I heard they're doing it with aliens. I think
yeah.
they're gonna try and do it with aliens. We talked about it last week a bit on the show as part of the quiz question, but also like RoboCop. I guess that reboot sucked, so they're like, okay, RoboCop 3, everybody. We're
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, I don't know why we do this
They-
to ourselves time and time again.
Well, it seems like almost like a new trend in Hollywood, where like they definitely did it with Halloween.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
Where it's like, sorry about Halloween 2, here's the real Halloween, and it's called Halloween.
Here's Jamie Lee
Have fun
Curtis's
explaining
very
that to your
long
girlfriend.
yogurt commercial.
I don't know. It's just like really weird, and I hope like there was that trend in Hollywood of reboots, and now I hope we don't have this new trend of like, my bad. Here's the one you really asked for.
Yeah, we did a bad one, guys.
Yeah.
I'm
Do
sorry.
you think we could
Or
ever
in
get
ha-
like a Spider-Man 4?
Don't even.
Oh,
Break-
with
Don't
Sam
go to that
Raimi.
place.
With Sam Raimi.
I imagine that like I could totally
Hell
see the
yes.
teaser. It's just like Spider-Man 4. It's coming back.
The whole
God,
movie
man.
is just Tobey Maguire's neck jiggle from the third one.
Well, actually, it's kids. It's Spider-Man 4 is coming back, but it's gonna be kids.
Oh no.
But Tobey
Like
Maguire
with the
is gonna be Peter Parker. He's just mentoring the kids during
that-
pizza time.
Man.
You know what I really wanted? I wanted Tobey Maguire in Into the Spider-Verse as one of the alternate
I
Spider-Men.
know. Maybe
I
we
would-
can
I would have
you
loved
never
that.
know with like Spider-Man 2 or something, but yeah.
True.
Or
Yeah.
the Spider-Verse 2, but like yeah, missed opportunity for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts, Gilbert?
put-
Sorry.
For Ghostbusters 3,
Yeah, just
well-
kind of this whole attitude that like Hollywood has right now.
well, I mean, I'm of the mindset that if they were going to make a Ghostbusters 3, they should have made it a long time ago when Harold Ramis was still alive. So I'm
Right.
I'm on board with it. I mean, but I mean, it's not going to be as good as it could have been. And then also, I mean, I don't know. I don't mind the idea, like what Marshall was saying. If they had done the thing with the women where the original Ghostbusters taught the new Ghostbusters, that would have been cooler. So, I mean, doing it with kids, that's kind of cool. I feel like it would be a missed opportunity if they didn't use the 4 kids from Stranger Things.
Right.
'Cause
I was
that
about to
would-
say it
that-
feels very Stranger
no,
Things.
No.
Yeah,
No,
it seems
Gilbert.
perfect.
It feels like they're
And
trying.
I mean,
to do a
even
Stranger
in that
Things.
show, they even make a reference to the 4 of them on Halloween being the Ghostbusters, and the black kid being like,
Yeah,
"Why do I have to
yeah.
be the black Ghostbuster?"
Oh,
Oh,
who
dude, I
knows
love that
what's
show.
going on? Like I guess we'll keep our eye out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
have any
the-
hope for this, Gilbert?
What was that?
Do you have any like hope for this? That it like
Yeah, I mean,
what are the chances that you're like, yeah, Ghostbusters 3, yo?
I mean, it could always suck. I mean, historically, the third movie in a trilogy is usually like the crappy one. I mean, Jurassic Park 3, Spider-Man 3, probably Star Wars
So they're gonna
Episode
come back
9.
all the way to just make a crappy trilogy.
You take that back, Gilbert. Jurassic Park 3 is a masterpiece.
Okay. Okay.
Alan.
What did you say? Talking
Alan.
raptors. That is worse than the Raptor Bros of Jurassic World.
Oh, I haven't seen. Wait, which one? Oh,
Jurassic World. You know how Chris Pratt is all like has like a relationship with the raptors.
You gotta just understand them.
Yeah, the Raptor Bros.
Yeah, that was a horrible
I mean,
Chris Pratt
you-
impression.
But yeah, I mean, I have hope
Deep-
for it
deep-
as long as I have Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd actually being the Ghostbusters, and I always forget the black dude's name. That's my fault. But
Yeah,
as long as I have them back being their original themselves, and then I think I'll be down for it.
yeah, no, absolutely. We'll see what happens. But until then, we can all wait in fear. 2020 is not too far away, and I'm sure we'll get some more trailers. And I want to bring this subject back up on the Fulcrum Report because we have lots of these weird ones coming out, and I want to talk about RoboCop 3. Like, what the hell that's even gonna be? Because they're gonna make like a proper. I guess they're calling proper sequels. It's a proper Ghostbusters or a proper RoboCop 3. So
Sure.
yeah. I just want those blood squibs, man. Like, if we bring the movie back, I want boobies and I want blood everywhere. I want everything to be overly exaggerated. What about that Anthem, guys? So I didn't pre-order the game. I'm not dumb enough to pre-order any more EA games.
Right.
So I think I have to wait next week to get my hands on it. But it looks pretty dope, and I've heard it's better than Destiny. So I want to start off. Let's start off with you, Gilbert. First of all, I want to hear your thoughts on Destiny. I play it, and I'm not I've finished them all, and but I never really get into the end game stuff. So maybe that's where the criticisms lie. But I don't really see what's so horrid about Destiny. And give me your thoughts on Anthem.
Okay, well, as far as Destiny goes, I have little to no thoughts because I've never played it before.
Okay.
I did not. It didn't look all that fun to me. It looked like great. It's Halo and Mass Effect and it's MMO. Whoopee. And I maybe that's just me being curmudgeon about it, but I don't know. I wasn't into it. As far as Anthem goes, I don't know. It looks. I've been following the channel of Your Anthem. That was you guys know our buddy William. He used to be on this channel. He does that channel, and so I've been following some of those videos and checking out the lore and stuff. And it seems kind of cool. It's it's like an alternate world where there's humans, but they have these Gundam-esque mech suits where they all
like Iron Man almost.
Yeah, and it looks real cool. And I've actually watched some of the gameplay footage. He put on a 20-minute demo of one of the missions the other day, and it's pretty cool. The powers that you could do, but it does kind of feel a little bit like Destiny. That's kind of just me, but I don't know, man.
Yeah,
it looks.
I'm trying.
I'd be willing to play it. I'm probably just gonna wait a little while for the price to go down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's one I need on Christmas, the holiday season. But I still gotta
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys have been following this either, but apparently I think it was yesterday or the day before. Apparently the VIP demo was supposed to go live, the beta, so everyone who pre-ordered could go play it. And I guess across the board, they people were I only get to play for an hour before the servers crashed. What the heck, man?
Yeesh.
And they were getting all angry at EA, being dude, come on.
So what is VIP for the pre-order, and then we get a demo for everybody next week? Is that how it's working?
I think something like that. I think it goes the public beta goes live either next week or the week after. But yeah, it was supposed to be yesterday. They were doing it for 8 hours straight. They were going to do the demo for people who pre-ordered.
Okay.
Yeah, but it just screwed up, and only a handful of people actually got to play it, and only for a short time.
What about you, Machinima Man? What are your thoughts on Anthem? Are you a big player of these types of games? This looks cool, and I'm totally down for the Barbie kind of aspect of the colors and the vinyls and the metallics and the. I feel like I'm just gonna play that.
As someone who sunk a lot of hours into Destiny 1 and 2 and all its DLC and expansions, I'm kind of looking forward to it, but
But
it
you're
just
also
looks
like, I don't
a-
want to
a-
go back.
Yeah, but I really like Warframe as well. And Warframe just looks like a better, more filled out version of Anthem, and it's completely free.
You are right
Like-
about that, because I saw which classes. I think it's like the Interceptor class. Looks like legitimately, besides the jetpack, looks like straight ripped from
Yeah.
Warframe.
It's like they've just looked at Warframe and thought, how can we charge for this? So it's like, yeah, here's Warframe, but not as good, and you have to pay $60 for it.
I've still been meaning
You
to
know?
check out Warframe on my Switch. Like, I think that's a really dope concept of Warframe handheld, and I heard it runs
Yeah,
real
yeah.
well.
What? It's free
So
and
I'll
it's on the
let-
Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Be right back.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, try it. You'll love it. It's so good.
Yeah, I played
Alright,
it
I'm
on
back.
Xbox. I played it on. He's like, I have my Switch. I played it on Xbox. I played it on PlayStation. Both great on there. I'm kind of sad that it might carry over. Like, I can't carry over my same profile. Because, like, how awesome would that be to sit down on your PlayStation, play, and then take your Switch with you, and then continue your progress? But
Yeah.
that's no big deal.
Yeah, that
Just
would be
start a new ninja or whatever the hell they're called. But, so you're familiar with these types of games. Then what do you think people are so upset about Destiny? Because I dig Destiny, and I haven't got a chance just because time reasons to play any of the new expansions. But like, I know there's some complaints about like the expansions coming out and being a little tiny, or or at least those first two initial expansions
Yeah,
before they always have
it's-
like that third big one. But
It's a game where if you don't have a lot of time, then it's absolutely not worth playing. Because the grind for all the best weapons and gear, you need like a team of 6 at least for the raids.
I've
So
never
it's
been
just
able
like,
to make it through a raid ever.
Nope.
yeah, I mean, I've
So
got like
sad.
2-3 friends I play with regularly, like different games, but there's no way I could get 6 people all together at the same time, at our age. But when you're like young kids and you've got all the time in the world, it's, you can do all that stuff.
Right, when you have
So
like an
it's
hour or
just
two
a bit
to
of a
sit down
grind.
and get something in before you have to go to bed. Yeah. What about the Anthem customization? I think that's a thing that's totally drawing me in. Like, but also like my
Yeah.
biggest issue with Warframe is like when they give me that much customization options, my guy always ends up looking like pretty bland, black with like some neon pinstripes. Like, I could never get that creative to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, this is my. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the customization is going to be a big selling point for a lot of people, like making their own mechs and
Still
stuff.
seems to be a part of the
But-
monetization too, apparently.
Exactly, yeah. The microtransactions in that game are going to be off the
yeah.
chain. Just
The
different
dances,
customizations.
There's dances, there's landing animations. I think there's victory animations. There's lights.
Yeah.
I think you can even affect some of like the light colors on your suit, or like particle effects from like some of your like. Is that possible? I can't remember if I saw that correctly or not.
Yeah, I think you're
Just
right.
like how you can
In
what do you
Warframe?
call it? In Warframe. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. In Anthem, I guess you can do it too, possibly.
Well, then, yeah, that's
So that's going to give a lot
straight
of
out of Warframe.
possibility for like microtransaction effects. Oh, you want the red lightning, or you want the, the
Yeah, and-
Valentine's Day effect where you laying down and you make a heart pose or something. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's EA as well, so it's just going to be filled with that kind of stuff.
But not getting in the way this time, right? Do you have faith in EA that hopefully they learned their lesson and that they're not? I mean, if it's just cosmetics, I hear everybody laughing.
Faith in EA.
Oh, geez, good one, Sebastian.
Yeah.
Learning.
That was funny, right? Yeah. I meant that to be a joke, but we'll see. I'm hoping that there's not too much room. The only negative effect I could see it having is like to the point where like that the cosmetics are so microtransaction-y that I don't really. It's like Warframe where my guy doesn't look that cool.
Yeah, there's just so many options, I guess.
Yeah, and then like the base free options are like but like if you want your dude to be like metallic.
Yeah, if you want him to look all badass, then you have to pay like
Yeah.
$30 in actual money.
Yeah, which I don't think
Yeah.
I'm down with, and then I'm gonna have to grind for like 8 hours of challenges.
But that's what I mean. In Warframe, you can choose to spend like, I don't know, $5 or $10 and get something cool. But with Anthem, you're going to pay a full $60 and then buy the cool stuff with microtransactions. Like,
yeah, I don't know if I'm down with that all the way. No. Like, I think there should be like it should be split down the middle. There should be the free stuff, and it's totally awesome, and all the free stuff, and I can have all the medals and the vinyls and all that stuff, because that seems to be the selling point. Apparently, I've been paying close attention to all the details, and that seems to be like where the money's going to come in. You're going to be able to buy like textures for your armor and patterns, and so like N7 from Mass Effect, I see that like being in the microtransactions.
I will never forgive BioWare for what they've done.
I know. I played that game to the end, and I'm like,
I liked Andromeda. I really liked Andromeda. I don't know what all y'all were whining about. Andromeda was fun.
Did you play the first 3?
Yes, I played the first 3.
Did you play?
And you liked Andromeda, and to the point where like I was like, I'm gonna 100% this first planet, and then I couldn't.
You know what? No, we're gonna have this out now. I am sick and tired of everyone bashing that game. It was a fun freaking game. You know what? And it had some cool environments.
The multiplayer was nasty.
Well, I wasn't playing the multiplayer. Who cares about the multiplayer? You don't play the multiplayer on Mass Effect.
I want to play the multiplayer when I'm like, hey, you play Mass Effect, I play Mass Effect. Let's play Mass Effect at the same time.
No one on planet Earth liked Andromeda, Gilbert.
Well, I did.
The only one.
Nice to meet you. My name's Gilbert.
I dug the customization. I think like I dug the exploration and like, but like I don't know. I felt it lacking in like story and kind of.
Fine,
like,
fine. I'll give you that. The story was a little weird, and
the entire thing was garbage, Gilbert. Garbage.
Yeah, this coming from the guy who likes Jurassic Park 3. I'm not gonna take your opinion.
Ooh.
You liked Venom.
Hey, you know what? Venom was cool too.
Deep down, you think you know somebody, and then Gilbert says he likes Andromeda, and you're breaking my heart, Gilbert.
Oh, dude, you know what? When we get off of here, I'm just gonna just to spite you, I'm gonna go play Andromeda.
It comes up on Discord. Gilbert is now playing Mass Effect Andromeda.
I'm gonna move on this show, and I'm sure we could cut some of this stuff out. But Jonah, what consoles do you play? Are you a Destiny fan? Because I think Destiny Warframe. I think that's the closest thing we can equivalent this. What is your experience with EA? And basically, like, do we have faith in this game? Is it going to be scary? What are your fears? Are you going to crack it open? Are you going to play it on launch? Go for it.
Yeah. So I have Xbox One and Switch. Switch much more recently, and so that's kind of what I've mostly played as of late. Like I'm still slowly working my way through Let's Go Eevee, but I've played like through the main story of both Destiny games. And I haven't done all of the DLC of both of them. So it's interesting because like from what I've been seeing about Anthem is how the multiplayer experience is apparently very like different and separate from the single player experience apparently.
I know, I keep hearing that too.
Yeah, and they just feel very disjointed. Yeah. Whereas, like, you can play, whether or not you're crazy about the whole story line of the Destiny games, you can, like, play through that whole thing with the buddy if you so choose. But it feels a lot harder to do that with Anthem, which I'm interested how that will end up shaking out, when it's out, if it'll still feel that way. I hate microtransactions. I am not a fan at all, and unless it's something that really adds to the game, I'm like, you should have just put it in there at launch and have it there for everybody. Like, I don't like the money grab stuff.
Yeah, and I understand there's this whole talk of like games, there's inflation, and you can't make these games $80 because there is inflation. I totally understand. I'm sure these games cost way more to make than they used to, and the graphics and the technology. So, like, I understand them having to make, like, maybe a little extra, cheddar on the side to pump out maybe DLC or, I think that's how Fortnite stays alive. They get the game's free,
right,
and people just pay them to the more they pay them, the more content comes out. So, like, there's a good to microtransactions, and there's, like, an evil. How do you see there being, like, an evil in this particular game?
I think that that part of it comes from, like, the transactions that don't really add anything to like the full experience of the game, like as far as like, oh, there's like a new class or a new map pack or something, but rather it's just like, oh yeah, you can be like kind of shiny now. That's the thing about microtransactions for me, is like, ooh, this is a very easy effect to put in, like it has to be. But we're going to charge you $5-10 or whatever to add something in the game for that later. And if somebody wants to pay that, fine. But it's just not a culture that I'm crazy about.
Yeah, and then like I've been playing 76 lately, Fallout 76, and like I really hope there's not that negative effect of like the only microtransactions are like cosmetic in 76, but like the only, and you can earn some of that currency by playing the game, but like the majority of the outfits and things that you find in the game itself are pretty bland, and if you want to look interesting, you got to like shell out some money, which is kind of sad. And I hope that doesn't happen because EA with EA games, it always seems to be great news all the way up to like launch day, and then like a week before the game or like during early access or whatever, you hear, oh no, there's microtransactions in Star Wars and they're horrible, and like we literally found that out days before the game. Do you think that there might be a situation like that where we find out something and
I would not be surprised at all.
Like that? Yeah.
I would not be surprised at all. We've all been burned by EA too many times before to not have that sitting in the back of our mind that like they're gonna drop something that's just bad on us right before it launches, and it's gonna throw everybody into a tizzy, and they will not have learned their lesson. I really don't think that EA has learned.
Okay, so thank you for your thoughts there.
Absolutely.
Seems like this is the dark ages for EA. I'm trying to remember when EA was cool. EA did some cool stuff in the past. Like I remember Madden back in the day was cool.
Oh, yeah.
And then like the original Battlefields and stuff. Like those are some dope games.
Oh yeah.
Even like the original Need for Speeds. Oh my god.
Oh
and
yeah.
then like microtransactions got added into our dictionary, and then things got really dark and scary. So hopefully we can finally see the end of that. And I don't know. What my biggest fear is, I've been realizing that I've been watching a lot of gameplay, and all the skins cost gold. So, for example, for like the demo, each skin or each material costs 25 gold. No big deal. Where it's the demo, they want you to try them all out.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling like during launch day, like certain armors are going to be locked behind like gold. I think like there's going to be like certain pieces of gear that you won't be able to get with gold, like your what are they called, the javelins or whatever. I bet like, oh, your first javelin's free, but if you want to play your second javelin, that's going to cost you 3,000 gold, which is also free, but it's going to take you 18 hours of grinding to like. I remember I spent like 8 hours trying to get a Kylo Ren skin, and then after that I was like, I didn't have fun, and I think I'm going to stop playing this.
yeah, it makes it not worth it. Yeah.
So let's get back to the quiz question for episode 26. The quiz, or basically the challenge was do what Disney did with Luke's Skywalker saber and just give it to Rey. Basically take an iconic weapon and just give it to someone. No big deal. Who cares about your childhood or anything you've read about or cared about? So we're gonna start with the Gilbs. What do you got going for us, Gilbert? What weapon or iconic item are we handing down to some nobody?
This is one I was thinking of during it, and like I was trying to decide whether it be like the Master Sword, like the Plasma Cutter, or something like that. But I figured this one is actually the most likely, and it actually really worries me. Is I worry that the Keyblade will end up being in the hands of the Avengers because of Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out soon. I'm extremely worried that there's going to be like a DLC or something where like, hey guys, you want to see Sora go fight in the Battle of New York? Well, here, let's do that. And I'm worried that we're gonna see like Thanos get a hold of like the Keyblade or something like that, or worse, Sora gets a hold of the freaking Infinity Gauntlet, and that just that whole thing worries me.
So why does that worry you? Because I remember a whole bunch of fans when they heard that.
I don't want Mickey Mouse to be hanging out with Tony Stark. That's not cool.
and then you also have to remember that like whatever world you're in, like the characters like match the costumes. So like who knows what Goofy's gonna be wearing.
Exactly, like one of them's gonna be Goofy's gonna be all Thored out. Donald Duck is gonna be like, I don't know,
Captain America.
Yeah, exactly. Then Mickey Mouse shows up like Nick Fury. Ha! I have to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. Ha!
Say what again? I double dare you. I'm putting together a team. Woohoo!
Exactly. You see, and I'm just like, no.
Donald, Goofy.
No.
Okay, what about Star Wars? Because I remember fans were like kind of psyched about Star Wars possibly being. Would you like that in Kingdom Hearts 3? Or you're just
honestly, no, that too. Like, let Disney be Disney, and whatever, it can own Star Wars, it can own Marvel, but let it be its own thing. Like I don't want Buzz Lightyear to be in the same universe as like You know, like I said, Tony Stark or Darth Vader. I don't want Darth Vader and Buzz Lightyear to be in the same universe. There's no reason for that.
I'll allow it if Kylo Ren just like cuts Donald in half with an actual lightsaber.
Okay, so thank you, Gilbert. That's actually so you don't want to see the Keyblade in the hands of any in Sora or in like basically the hands of any like Disney characters.
Yeah, of any of the Marvel or the Star Wars.
You don't want none of that touching.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, sir. Let's go on to Machinima Man. Marshall, what do you have for us this week, sir?
I have. Well, I thought I'd keep it Star Wars, and I'm going to go with Han Solo's blaster in the hands of Finn.
Oh, really?
And I have.
Oh, you have an image for us.
I do. Oh no! Did I send that to the wrong one? Oh, there we go. It's when Finn gets recast as Benedict Cumberbatch, and so Finnedict Cumberbatch gets Han Solo's blaster and a mustache.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
One of Leia's last scenes in Episode 9 is her opening a box with Han Solo's blaster in it, and her giving it to Finn for, like, you know, a final battle or whatever. And so Finn uses the blaster instead, and then it becomes Finn's blaster in the toys.
Okay, and then give me the scenario of, hey, Dad, it's Finn. It's here. I'll be your son. Ready?
Oh God.
Oh, look.
Are you ready?
Hey there, boy. We're just going to Target.
Hey, Dad, can I go look at the toys real quick?
No, you sit your ass back down, boy.
That's not Finn's blaster.
Thank you, Marshall. Yeah, Han Solo's blaster, Finn's blaster. I could totally see it happening, and I can see it outraging fans. Let's go on to thank you, sir.
Anytime.
And then, Jonah, what did you think of your first Benedict Cumberbatch meme?
Very good. It's 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 meme. There's not too much water in that one, so I'll give it a 10 out of 10 rather than 7.8 out of 10. Good job.
Right.
So,
I even like
IGN.
how he got the gun in there too. Like the right answer. Jonah, what iconic weapon or MacGuffin are we handing down to a character shamelessly?
You know, I think that we're just going to keep it Star Wars, and I'm going to say Poe Dameron in Leia's bikini. Oh, yeah.
What the heck? Oh, my God.
So I think that what's going to happen is, I don't know if you guys have heard, but there are apparently rumors that, like, Jabba the Hutt's son is going to be in this movie. So I think that we're just going to bring it right on back, and, you know, Poe and Leia got, you know, kind of close in the last movie. They bonded and everything. And I think that they're really just going to go for that strong imagery of, you know, Rey and Finn having to go and save Poe from whatever his name is. I don't even know that kid. Rhoda. They're going to have to go save him from Rhoda, and they're just going to show up, and he's going to be in this sexy little number like, hey, guys, this isn't too bad.
and then Sebastian will get the Funko Pop of it the week after it comes out. And just hold it in his other hand.
And just hold it next to the Jeff Goldblum one and just say, now kiss. But yeah, so that's what I think. I think they're bringing the bikini back.
No, I'm totally down for that. And I don't know what I've gotten myself into with the Funkos. I'm sorry I ever mentioned anything. Here, I'm holding Ultron in my hand right now. And in 1966 Batman in my other hand. It's my own cinematic universe, you guys.
How many hands do you have, Matt? You've got like 12 hands with a different Funko in each one.
Yeah, like one minute you have Goldblum, the next minute you have a Portal one, then you have another one sticking out of the third arm.
Green Goblin from Spider-Verse and Scary Terry from Rick and
Morty. I think he has them assembled around his laptop as like a council meeting on the Fulcrum Report.
I actually have another podcast on my YouTube channel. It's a podcast with me and my Funkos.
Oh my God.
Just interviewing them. So what's it like being in a box?
Just silence.
It's like 20
Yeah,
minutes of just
that's
straight
the whole
silence.
thing. It's not you doing the voices for all of them. It's just you asking the questions and then nothing.
Well, I don't know what you guys are talking about because I totally hear the audio.
Yeah.
Like,
Call someone.
you guys don't hear.
Too
Is
much
this
of-
where I find out that the Fulcrum Report's a sham and I'm just sitting in a blank room with Funko
You're just
Pop?
talking to your prop figures.
You got Shyamalan, bud.
Right on. Okay, so quick recap. We have Gilbert and his Keyblade going to
going
Mickey.
to.
That is a no-no. Or just going into the Marvel universe. That's a no-no.
Yeah.
We have Marshall's Finn's lightsaber, and then we also have the bikini going into the. So the bikini's the winner this week, you guys. Finn get it, and it would be called Finn's bikini, right?
Or no, it's Poe.
Poe's
Poe's
bikini.
winning that.
Oh, Poe's bikini,
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh, yeah. Everybody wants to see that man in a bikini.
even
Come on
better.
now.
Oh, boy.
So much fanfic.
And then just so we remember, we actually keep like track of this on our show. There's like a winner every 10 episodes. So I'm going to give it to Marshall this week.
Yes.
For the point, the recorded point, because just for the simple fact of like, yeah, I could totally see that pissing people off, and then like a dad be like, no, this is Han Solo's lightsaber, and then the kids are like, what are you talking about, Dad? It's Finn's lightsaber now. Or or even with Rey's lightsaber, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Cool. Let's wrap it up for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for being on. Gilbert, thank you as always, our editor, our co-host. You're always awesome for being on the show, sir. You got any plugs for us this week? You said you were working on Obi, right?
Yeah, I am. I'm working on Obi, and I'm
Reluctantly.
yeah. Well, I'm doing what I can,
yeah.
and I think you'll be pleased with what I got. It's trying to find the right audio for the opening that we talked about. That was just a little tough.
Yeah, it's a pain.
Yeah, but I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm hacking away at it, and I'll probably start working on it again as soon as we're done here.
We appreciate all your work, sir, here on the comic experience, and it's always great to have you back, sir.
Yep, it's great to be back.
Awesome. Cool. Machinima Man, Marshall, thank you so much for being on. It's always a blast having you here. Do you have any plugs you would like to get in?
Thank you for having me back, as always. It's always a pleasure. No plugs this week. I'm still working on a few things, but nothing final yet.
Yeah, we got you showing up as the Clumsy Rodian and some other characters in our dubs. So
Yeah, a few little cameos.
yeah, no, I'm psyched. And keep your eyes out, guys. We definitely have some cool projects. But thank you, Machinima Man.
Anytime.
And thank you, Jonah, for being on the show. It's an honor to have you here, sir. And it's real awesome bringing in some nice new blood, and you fit right in, sir. Did you like the Fulcrum Report? Are you
No,
scared?
I'm not frightened in a bad way. Maybe in like a
Do you think we'll see you again?
oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
Jeff Goldblum better be
Seriously,
there.
Marshall, I think you might need to be worried about your whole relationship with Sebastian.
I know someone's trying to take him from me.
Uh-oh.
I won't let it happen.
We'll see.
Marshall gets jealous.
But no, it was a blast. It was
I
a blast.
do, you're
Thanks for having
mine.
me on.
Cool. Yeah, hopefully we could get you on again sometime. And yeah, just spectate about. Everybody go follow him on the. So you're on Instagram and Twitter, yeah? Gilbert will make sure to have that on the screen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that and find me in podcast world as well. So.
Are you on some
Yeah,
podcast?
yeah. So I'm on a podcast called The Quest Company D&D podcast, and we also play some other
that
games
sounds
on there
awesome.
as well. But yeah, a lot of fun, heavy RP D&D stuff, a lot of fart jokes.
Cool.
That sounds like the best idea I've ever heard. Why not do
We should do a Star Wars RPG.
Yeah, we
I
should
don't
do
know
a
what we're
Fulcrum
doing.
Report D&D.
Heyo.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can find me on The Quest
Okay.
Company and all that stuff too, from the Twitter.
Cool. Thank you, sir. And then you we just mentioned you're in the Darth Maul comic coming up. Did I get you for the? I got you in Django. You're also going to be voicing one of the Rodians.
Yeah, I'll be in.
That's my favorite Star Wars alien.
I do love that.
And then I'm trying to.
my good cowboy. Yeah, that, and then Uncle Owen in another one, doing all kinds of fun stuff.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you'll see. He has a nice buttery voice, everybody. So you'll definitely hear him again somewhere in the comics.
You'll know.
But thank you so much for being on,
Absolutely,
sir.
thank you.
And like I said, I am your host, Sebastian. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Revan Winter Soldier. Don't forget to hit a like on this channel. Hit the little subscribe button. And then bell notification. Don't forget to hit that so you know when the Fulcrum Report comes out or our awesome comic dubs. We also have some other cool cool little videos out on here. And then comment below, hit us up on social media. We are real life people. We're not bots, and we will interact with you. We're not above you. So like, yeah, we love Star Wars just as much as you guys, and we have no issue chilling with you guys. So get down there, and we're lonely. But I think that's all I got to say this week, guys. That's that. Fulcrum Report 26 out. But let's get.
I want them.
What were you say?
I want them to make a proper Jurassic Park 4 and bring back Alan just to annoy Gilbert.